Welcome in, everyone, to the State for Day podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Matthews, bringing you all things AZ. And today we have the Lisa Show. Lisa Lund joining us from Lund Mortgages. So excited for you to be here. We already talked for 20 minutes pre-show, so I know this is going to be a great show talking, well, all things mortgages, which I have to be very honest with you. It's not my love language, but I'm here to learn. And people listening, I'm sure they want to learn and grow with you, but also getting into what you do outside of, obviously, what you do for your profession. You're a mom, a wife, and a lover of all things AZ. So,
yes.
Perfect fit for us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yes. Not many people are in love with mortgages like I am. I said it's kind of a nerdy thing.
I love it.
You know,
we all have our nerd.
Yes. I always tell people my part of the job when you're buying a home is the not sexy part. When you're looking at buying a home, the sexy part is actually going and looking at the home. That's the fun part. No one wants to talk to me. I'm the unsexy part of the transaction. No one wants to get me their documents and see if they qualify, but it's the most important part of the job. So,
and you've done so much here in the Valley, so I'm sure we're going to learn so much today, me included. I need and Nick here because he's looking for a home, and he's she's going to bring some light into your life today, okay? Let me just tell you
I'm
that.
Here for it.
You're going to know all things mortgages.
Exactly. First, I like to start with a little game.
Okay,
just to get to know you better. Let's finish the sentence. I'm going to throw out some questions, and you just kind of rapid fire whatever comes out first.
Oh, fun.
That's the truth. Okay. When I was younger, I wanted to be
a pediatrician.
Wow. Okay. Lover of kids. She has 4 kids, by the way.
Yes. But I faint when I see blood, so not a good way to go.
No, yeah. So, that would be your indicator to go a different path.
Yes.
But I understand that you were also kind of just born into the mortgage world as well. So was there a time when you were younger where you're like, I want to do what my dad's doing or my family?
Absolutely. Yeah. I said, I think I'm the only person that was 8 years old and asked for a 10-key calculator and a typewriter for Christmas so I could play bank. So
I love that.
I definitely knew that it was in my blood and that I was going to have a passion for it.
Love that. Okay, my favorite hobby is
dancing, ballroom dancing.
Really?
Yes.
I used to ballroom dance. Where do you go?
Did you? Fred Astaire in Paradise Valley.
I do know the name.
Little shout out to Jasmine and everyone over there. They're amazing.
Do you know the Paragon? It's in Tempe.
I don't.
The Paragon Dance Studio. I don't even know if it's still that. Anyways, what kind of ballroom dancing is your flavor?
I actually did some competing and I did all 7. So I did smooth and rhythm. So I did anywhere from cha-cha to rumba to swing. And I also did waltz, Viennese waltz, foxtrot, and I'm trying to think of the other one. I can't remember at this moment.
Tango?
Tango. Thank you.
There we go.
Yes.
So fun. What a fun hobby. So when did you get into this? And how long have you been doing it for?
So that's a really cool story, actually. So one of my girlfriends, she was the co-chair for the Arizona Kidney Foundation.
Okay.
And her son had battled with kidney issues since he was little. And they do this really cool thing every year with business owners called Dancing with the Stars.
Yes, I've heard of this.
It's
definitely
amazing. If anyone get a chance to get involved with it, it was so much fun. And it really opened my eyes to how much I loved ballroom dancing. So I continued with it. But
cool.
You get to dance with a professional and you raise money, and then they have a big event at the end where you invite everyone and then everyone votes, and you get to perform, and it was so much fun. So
oh my gosh, that is right up my alley. Any show I would probably do on television, I don't even think it's on television anymore, is Dancing with the Stars. Like, I would die to dance with
I'm pretty sure it is. My mom still texts me like, hey,
but
vote
it's
for
on
this person.
ABC.
Yeah, it is still on because you know who I think is going to be on it?
Who?
The Scandal with Tom Sandoval and Ariana. I think Ariana is actually going to be on Dancing with the Stars. On Vanderpump Rules.
What are you talking about?
He cheated on her with her best friend. Do you not keep up with this?
No, I'm like, what are you talking? I was
It's only like the
this.
Super Bowl for women.
Oh my God. Do you know about this, Nick?
I have no idea.
I am like, this is, okay.
So it's a show.
Okay.
It's a Vanderpump Rules show.
What is that?
It's like a reality show about a restaurant in LA and the people who work there. And it's been on several years now. And Ariana and Tom had been dating for 9 years, bought a house together.
Oh no, this
and
sounds tragic.
it came out that her best friend
No.
and him.
No.
Yes.
I'm sucked in.
Yes.
There's
And
no going back.
you have to watch it now. So I heard that she's actually going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Wow.
So
Next week we'll have Lisa and Lisa review Vanderpump Rules.
yes.
I don't, obviously, as you can tell, I don't watch a lot of reality television. So that was like so foreign to me what you just said. I was like, what did I miss? What life event? But now it makes sense. And I'm rooting for her.
Yes.
Really. We have to root for her.
She did get everyone on her side. So
Well,
it was all over social media. And I don't watch much either, but it was something that guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, we all
to
have
say.
them.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's cool. Well, that's cool. I would love to see. Do you have video of you dancing?
I
need to
do.
see. Okay.
And I have pictures and I've
Yes.
competed.
So fun.
So it's a lot of fun.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay. Something that would surprise you about me is, I guess that would be one of them, but something other than dancing.
Something that I usually surprise people with is I have a 25-year-old son.
No, you don't.
Yes.
I was gonna curse right now. Nick, control me. What do you do? This is what happens here in our studios. If you're watching,
It's a lot of fun here.
We
you
had
have
a bag in the shot, had to move it.
25-year-old son.
I do. Get in a little.
You look like you're 26. So
Thank you. I
don't even know
appreciate
how
it.
that happened.
I feel like I'm 26, right? Age is just a number. So
yeah, you know more pop culture, reality television than I do. Okay, so 26, 25?
25.
And then what's the next?
The next one is 12, 10, and 8.
Okay, wow.
So my high school sweetheart and I had a kid very young at 17. And so that's where my story, my journey with overcoming a lot of obstacles and starting my business and getting in the mortgage company comes about is when everyone thinks that the world, that you can't do it, you can still do it no matter what happens in your life. So
I just got chills. Wow,
Yeah.
what an incredible story.
I would have to say that's something that most people, they assume that he's my brother.
Yeah, but does he roll his eyes? He's like, gosh, Mom. I'd be proud.
Yeah, he is. We're best
amazing.
friends.
Oh
So,
my God. And you guys kind of grew up together in a sense, right?
and he works with me now for the last almost 4 years.
I'm
so
done.
it's really special.
I'm undone. My papers are gone.
Yes, so I get to see him every day.
So good. We're going to get into all of this. This is great. Okay, my favorite quote is, I saw you put a number of quotes on your
I
question.
do.
love it.
I love a lot of them. But I would have to say, no one's going to remember what you said or did, but how you made them feel. And most people think that first impressions are about how you look and when you walk into an interview. And really, it's not about that. A first impression is how you make the other person feel when they're in the room with you, because that's what they're going to remember. So I would have to say that's my absolute favorite, but I have a lot of them.
I have a feeling you apply that a lot to the business side of things, right? I mean, like you said, you're the person that maybe no one wants to see or deal with the paperwork or the numbers and the crunching of all that. But you probably make the process really easy and fun and light for them. I'm sure just hanging out with you the last 10 minutes, I get that feeling. So I love that. Okay, a bad habit that I have is?
Well, actually, funny story. I just got a ticket for it the other day, texting and driving. No. And they do give those out, believe it or not.
Listen up, AZ drivers.
Yes, $293 to be exact, but no points on your record. I'm not saying do it, but
Oh, they should point.
yes, I'm not saying do it, but I'm just saying that
You said what, Nick?
They should add points.
yes,
have
they
a
don't, but
Oh,
then
yeah.
you don't have to go to the class. So you have a get out of jail free card if you're ever speeding. So I haven't had a ticket in like 9 or 10 years. And I was on my way home from the gym the other day and work
like,
and, crazy
Multitasking.
schedule. And so I'd have to say my bad habit is texting and driving. So now I've tried to be more conscious of it
Yeah.
and not do it. But that
Yes.
was probably my worst habit.
It's hard. Honestly,
Yeah.
we're all human. I'm not going to sit here and say. But, I mean, when you think of, what could happen and like all the variables, and you're a mom now, like that's all the things that run in my mind. I'm like, if someone else is driving and my kid's on the road, like
Yes.
that's what comes into play for me. So I try to put it in my purse.
Yes.
However, then a stop sign or a light, and I'm
That's-
like, oh, hang on, I heard a message. It's needed this instant.
Yeah.
It's not, but
And I've had to learn to put that away, or I need to learn to like put it up on a stand and like voice text. I'm a little old, so I need to learn how to do all that cool
show
stuff.
You.
Yeah,
Voice
I need to
text
learn
is
how to
my
do
jam.
all of that.
I
See?
got you. You teach me mortgage, I'll do all the other things.
That's what I need.
Okay, blank is my secret talent.
That's kind of a tough one. I don't know.
What about like a party? What do I call it? A talent? I don't know. Party trick. There it is. I'll find the words eventually.
I can do this crazy thing with my tongue.
Oh, wait. Not this show. Next.
So
Just go ahead and look at the camera right in front of
Wait,
you.
I'm okay.
No. This one.
So, okay, it's really funny. When I was younger, if you guys ever watched America's Funniest Home Videos, I
Yes,
saw this
love
little
it.
kid do this like 3-leaf clover with his tongue, and I was like, I wonder if I can do that. So, yes, I can. It's
Wait.
you can do it too. See,
So Lisa trick. We just 3-leaf clover.
yes. And so I was looking in the mirror when I was younger. I was like, and then I taught myself how to like roll my tongue. Like
Can you tie a cherry stem with your tongue?
I can.
Me too.
Yeah. See, we have a lot in
Wow.
common.
Wow, I just found my match, y'all.
It's a weird trick, but you said party trick. I'm
It's
like,
a party
yeah.
trick, y'all. Nick is like, he's sweating back there.
I'm good. Hey,
He's like,
this
we
is
haven't
great
even
content.
talked about mortgages yet,
Yeah.
and this is getting into weird things.
Yeah,
with your
lots of fun things about me that you didn't know.
I love it. Okay, so now we can get more into the game's over, by the way, but
Okay.
keep the energy. It's great. Your journey in starting your business, well, actually, go back to when you were 17. I guess that's when the journey really started for you, and
Yes.
just what you overcame to then start your business.
Yes. So I became a mom at a very young age. And I look back and I'm very fortunate because I didn't have my next kid until I was 30. So I've gotten to see both sides of being a young mom and certain
Truly.
things that you face as a young mom. And then I consider my 12-year-old daughter reminded me in the car today that I'm an old mom now on the way home from her orthodontist appointment or to school, that I'm now the old mom. So I've gotten to experience both sides of it and the joys of both, and then also the stress or, when people look at you a certain way. I've gotten to experience a lot of different things by being the young mom and then the older mom.
Yeah, truly, two different worlds. So what
Yeah.
are the major differences that you can hit on?
I think patience was key. By being a young mom, I was always looking ahead. Like, when is he going to walk? When is he going to start school? When is he going to do this? And then you blink and it's over. And when someone tells you that, it's so true. I can't even express that. So I think now with my younger children that are 12, 10, and 8, I have a little more patience and I enjoy time more. And I'm not always trying to push for them for the next step to grow up.
Yeah. So 17, were you still in high school?
I was a senior.
What was that like?
I had him a month before I graduated.
A month before he was delivered.
Yes.
Wow.
And it was scary. I was a cheerleader. I had good grades, and I think people assumed that I was just going to quit school and just stop everything. And I said, no, I'm determined. I have good grades. And I walked with my class and I had a baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
All in 1 year.
All in 1 year. Yes.
That's amazing. And
So-
so when you were going through that time, because obviously now you can look back with hindsight and you obviously appreciate things differently, right? As life comes to you in different ways. But at that moment, what was going through your mind in terms of, yes, I want to finish school, however, it might look like this, or what is my future going to look like post having this baby with college or whatnot? Did you kind of go through all of those emotions as well in the midst of it?
I don't think I allowed myself to have time for that. I think I just kept my head forward, knowing that I had goals and passions in life, and I wasn't going to let something stop me from that. And I wanted to make a better life for both of us. Yeah. And so I didn't dwell on any of that. I think the biggest obstacle is, what were people going to think of me? Were people going to judge me or think I'm a bad person or not take me seriously? So I think that was more my struggle than worrying about what I was going to do with my future.
I think that kind of helps in a sense. You're kind of just going blindly into it. I just got to go. I got to make that next move and not worry about it. Or now, obviously, hindsight, if you're looking at a situation like that, your mind goes everywhere. Okay, what's the next move? How am I going to make this work? But it truly, I would say, made you who you are today, resilient, powerful, and now, like you said, more patience as you watch life develop with your other kids and move forward.
and not afraid to take risk or jump into something, I think, too. It took away a lot of my fear of things. So now I'm just kind of open. I always say yes. When people ask me to do something, I'm like, okay, I'll try it out. I don't know
come
what
on
I'm
our
doing.
podcast.
Yeah. Definitely. So.
So how did it turn into then graduating, and then did you lean immediately into this space? I know that your father, is that correct, was a part of the mortgage world? Yeah.
Yes. So my dad had started his mortgage company. He's always been in the mortgage industry since 81. Started his own mortgage company out of our home in 99. Oh, wow. And throughout high school, my grandmother always told me, Lisa, you have champagne taste and a beer budget. So if you want something in life, you're either going to have to marry a rich man or get it yourself. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to get it myself.
I love that. You have champagne taste and a beer budget.
Yes. And so for me, it was not just about the money. It was about building something and, becoming something. So throughout high school, I wanted a way to earn money. And so I'd always ask my dad, like, what can I do? What can I do? And he's like, well, you want to learn to stack files, we're getting audited, or you want to do this. So I kind of was always in it and always learning and wanting to know more. And so right after high school, I just jumped in with 2 feet. And one of the things I really appreciate is that I didn't start out at the top. Yeah. I started out as a receptionist and I worked my way through every position. And I think that gives me a great vision now for running my own company, because I understand it's just not sales that's important in a business, that every single person and every single job is what makes the business. And every person is just as important as the other. So it gave me a big insight on being a business owner now and how important every single person is.
When did you decide to then start your own?
It was 2009.
Okay.
So it was a great time to do it. So kind of funny story. My husband and I met at the Phoenix Open. It's now Waste Management.
Yes.
I call it the Phoenix Open still.
I'm forever like.
Yes. So we met in 2005 and he was working at Chase, a big bank, and doing home equity, which is like second mortgages if you want to pull money out of your home. Yes. And so he was doing that for a big corporation. And when we met, I told him what I did. And he jokingly said, who would ever get a mortgage with you? And he didn't mean me personally, but it was kind of funny. He just meant he didn't understand the small business side of it. He said, why wouldn't you just go to a bank? Why wouldn't you just go to a bank to get a mortgage? Why would anyone use a company like yours? And I was like, oh, well, let me tell you.
Oh, tell me, because I am very curious.
Yes. So with a big bank, they have so many rules and regulations. It's almost like you have to be in a box, right? So they have their guidelines. And if you don't fit within that box, then a lot of times that you don't get that lending, or you may not qualify for a home. Whereas with us, a small business, we have so many different options for the consumer, and we really work with you. We're not saying, okay, you don't fit in this box, sorry, move on. We're really going to look at your situation, and we're going to help you. Either if you can't buy now, we're going to help you get there, or we have so many different options that we can help you get into a home, that we're not stuck into a box. We have many different options.
Wow. Okay, you sold me. Yeah. I've just gone the traditional route. I didn't know there were options like this.
Most people don't.
That's why we have this podcast. Let's educate the people. Because like I said, I am not one to know much about this side of things. I've purchased a home, a couple. Yeah. And it's kind of like I'm just walking where they tell me to go. Okay, turn left, turn this in, figure this out. So we actually have a subject here who is going through the buying process here. Take us through like what this would look like in helping him land his mortgage, and I'm guessing rates and all of that, right? It plays into this. Okay, so Nick's trying to buy a home. Nick, let's help you out here.
I'm looking for a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house.
So he has a realtor for that, but
my mother.
Your mom's your realtor?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh,
she actually, side note, she kept her license.
Okay. Just for you?
Yeah. For me or my brother, because she wants to give us her commission, or like use the money from the commission somehow in some way.
I love that.
Yeah.
I am all about that. So family situation going, and then family owned mortgage business.
So does she have a say in the house a little bit when she's taking you around?
Here's the thing. Currently, the housing market is pretty garbage. So everything we've looked at is either people have made decisions because they're just trying to flip the house that are terrible decisions that just like, why?
Yeah.
And now I'm paying more money to eventually have to fix this or change this. And like, this isn't the decision I would make, or it's a crap neighborhood surrounding a nice house, and nice is relative. And I'm someone who, I like uniqueness, so I don't want like a cookie cutter home somewhere, and like Julie doesn't either.
Same.
So
where they all look the same and your
I can't
neighbors.
do it. I don't want to. There's just something about it that's just like I feel icky. You know?
So I assume the challenge in what you do is everyone is so different and their needs are so different in their backgrounds. So how do you kind of manage that when you have someone like Nick coming in and then versus me and my needs, right?
So that is the part that I actually don't do. I don't find the homes. And so that's where I am the finance person. And so in fact, when you go to buy a home, everyone usually wants to jump to the realtor first, right? The fun part. You want to go look at homes, whether it's online. I mean, I even find myself scrolling through homes online.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, it's fun. That's the fun part. But the most important tool that you want to arm yourself with when you're buying a home, because the housing market is the way it is right now, and there's multiple offers, that when you do find that home that says, yes, this is what I want, you want to make sure that you're already pre-qualified. So that way, you know that you can get that home. You have your pre-qualification in hand. You know what your expected payment's going to be. A lot of people, there's mortgage calculators online, but they don't really give you the breakdown of everything. And so I like to go into it with, okay, let's go over your situation. Yeah. You know, let's see how much home you can afford, number one. Where do you want your payment to be? Let's see where we can get you approved at. So that way you're looking at homes that are attainable for you. And because it is a hard thing. When you go look at homes right now, it's not easy. There's not many on the market.
I never look at my budget. I'm horrible.
That's what I do, is I kind of counsel that part with you and sit down and say, you know, what are your goals? You know, do you want to put most of your money into your home? Do you want your payment cheaper? You know, this is what you can get for this amount of payment. And then if rates do drop, we can refinance you. Or, so I'm that beginning piece that is so important that people usually try and skip over. They skip over me.
Yeah. Do you have your pre-qualification paperwork done?
I do.
Okay, good.
Yes.
See, he's on the right.
Tim Regan, shouts out
Tim.
Foundation, State 48 Foundation board member, Tim Regan.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So it's important to find a good mortgage person, because it's a lot of paperwork and it can be stressful, right? Like, we're going to ask for everything under the sun.
The aspect of like, here's everything I've bought in the last 3 months for the next
and then we're going to ask you more questions.
17 months until I find a house, and you need a new
pay stub and bank statements, and we want a copy of your ID. We tease all the time, and a blood sample. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but thankfully, I will say that over the last several years, thankfully, being a business owner, I make sure that I know exactly where those documents are on a more regular basis, as to where, like, 10 years ago, Nick would have been like, I don't know how to get you a pay stub, or I don't have them anymore, or whatever it is, you know? So things are a lot easier these days.
It's a lot.
Yeah. When I got into the business, we had fax machines. I mean, at least everything now is PDF. True. You can upload documents and you can access things a lot quicker, even your tax returns. When I got in the business, it was not that way. I mean, we used to have to fax things and overnight it, and it was a lot different. And now, thanks to technology,
it can speed up the process.
It has. And it makes it easier for the consumer, right? Because you're excited about looking at homes, and they want to speed through our process. But our process, again, so important, because you want to know how much home you can afford. Because if you're looking at homes that are out of your range or not where you want your payment to be, and then you have to go find a different price range, and then it almost like lets you down. So it's good to know where you want to be at and what price range and where your payment's going to be at.
Yeah. So when you started the business, what kind of pulled you into wanting to have your own thing going? Because if you're working on your dad, you said you worked from the receptionist all the way up. So what made you want to branch off and do your own thing?
The passion for the business and being different than a lot of these places and how they were run. Being a woman too. I mean, when I got into this business, it was all men that owned mortgage businesses or mortgage companies.
We're having a Barbie moment right here.
Yes. And so
no spoilers, please. I haven't seen it yet.
It really
Have you seen it?
I have seen it. Yes. I took my 2 daughters to see it. Yes.
You're mortgage Barbie.
Yes.
I'm talk show host Barbie.
I'll have to show you after this, but my birthday was 2 weeks ago.
Did you go? And
no, but my whole office created me. They made me a Barbie box, and it said Broker Barbie.
Oh my!
And I have pictures of me in it, and they decorated my whole office. It was amazing. My office is my team, my family. They're amazing. So they literally put together a huge box that I can fit in decorated. I mean, the Mattel sign, it says 18 plus on it.
No way.
And it says broker Barbie. It's the cutest thing ever. And now I took it home. My kids are playing in it.
Oh my, you're like, don't ruin it. That is epic. That's amazing. I have to see pictures of that. That's
so
perfect.
It was a lot of fun. They're very creative. Barbie. Yes.
Can that be the title of this podcast?
Yeah. Broker Barbie. I love it.
Okay. So I love that they did that for you because it really hones in on the culture that you've created, because I'm a part of a small business here, obviously at Safe 48, and there's nothing like it when you have coworkers that feel like family and the environment too, but that's created at the top. So kudos to you. But is that really what your vision was when you were starting your own company? Not only who you bring into it, but also the community that you serve?
Absolutely. I mean, it was so important to me because you spend so much time with, I call it work family, right? Yeah. And so you need to build that trust. And I have to say that I have the best team, and I'm very, very fortunate and thankful that people don't leave me. They stay with me and we work together. It's not Lisa's vision and they're following my vision. Yes, I'm a leader, but it's us together. And we work together as a true team. I'm in there every day in the weeds with them, working beside them. This isn't just my vision. It's also theirs, because, this is how they support their families, and this is how they make their living. So I need to make sure that they're happy. It's where they come every day, and they have to see me every day.
I love that. How big is your staff now?
We have 13 people. Okay. So, but we do quite a bit of business, when I tell people in my industry who do what I do and they see the numbers that we do, they're highly shocked when they find out we only have 13 people. But again, it's efficiencies and it's trusting each other and building that team. It's not I. Again, I tell people all the time, no matter what business you're in, sales and operations have to be married, and you have to not put one over the other. You have to make sure that they respect each other and that you respect both of them, and you can work together. And it's not, the thing I hate the most is like, I'm not doing that because that's not my job, what's my job title? I'm like, we're a small business. Your job title is everything. If I'm the owner and I have to answer the phone, I'm going to answer the phone. And I think that's so important, is that it's not what your job title is. It's we're here to work together, and we're here to work for the client. Yeah. And give them best experience.
I would say, what has been, the learning curve, and not only one working the industry, which sounds like you've been, bred to be this broker Barbie, but then creating a business, the business side of things, where you're managing the operations, the sales, you're overseeing everything. So what has that journey been like for you?
I think the hardest thing becoming a business owner is I knew the business and I knew I could start the business, but no one ever teaches you how to hire or how to fire, right? Oh, yeah. And I think knowing to find the right people is, you think that during an interview that you're just, I used to ask them, okay, do you know this, or what's your experience? And you think that experience is everything. Mm-hmm. And truly it's finding the right fit person that's going to fit with your dynamic in your team. And I think that was something that I struggled with over the years, because you assume that, I want someone with experience so they could just come in and take over and do this job. And I have found that when you, and this is something that I love, because me being young and 17 and being a mom and someone taking me under their wings and teaching me the business is so great, to give someone that opportunity and teach them from the ground up. Yeah. And I feel that it's just the person now when I hire, not their resume.
So as a leader of people, that's a huge job to have. Mentally, physically, like all the things. How do you just perfect your craft? Because it's never gonna be perfect, obviously, as a leader. Like, what are some things you do? Listen to podcasts, read books to help in your leadership muscle of all of this?
I'm in a lot of mastermind groups, and I think that's so important to have, because listening to others and how they deal with things day to day, or their ideas, and understanding that. So yes, I do listen to podcasts, I read a lot, but I like getting in a room with other like-minded people and sharing ideas. I think it's really helped my business over the years, and I have now been in a mastermind since 2014, and it has really helped me grow my business.
Wow, the same one since
the same one, and I've added them since now, and I'm
That's
on
amazing.
quite a few of them, and Facebook groups and sharing, and I think it's really helped me grow and learn from others.
Yeah, and connect and network, which is a huge part.
network.
This is a business of relationships.
Meet some of your best friends.
Yeah.
I've met some of my best friends through that, through my
so
first masterminds group.
Wow. Well, I hear Lund Mortgages all the time on the radio. I know that you're doing a TV show, you said, on our
Yes.
podcast. So hello. How have you just been able to develop your reputation here in the Valley, would you say?
You know, I wanted to have a message that was different than most mortgage companies, and the radio really helped us deliver that message. And being on the radio now for 23 years, we never talk about rates or programs or all that boring stuff. I wanted people to know who I was and who they were going to work with and what we were about and why we've been in the Valley for so long and made it through the tough times. You know, we were able to make it through 2008. And we've seen a lot of different markets, and assure them that we're going to be here and give them, you know, education and be here for them. And not only them, you know, some of the people we're doing loans for now, we've done it for their parents or their sisters, their brothers, and it's generations. So
Wow. Leaving a legacy. Do you think, I know your son is working, do you think any of the other kids are going to join in with the family legacy?
You know, it's so funny. I mean, owning your own business, you know, sometimes you're in the office, you know, on the weekends or you're working. And so I have seen my daughters, you know, pick up the phone. Thank you for calling Lund Mortgage Team. How may I help you?
Oh, so fun. Yeah.
You know, I want them to do what they're passionate for. You know, I chose to be in this business. In fact, I have two sisters that didn't want anything to do with it. My dad wasn't like, this is what you're going to do. It's something that I really wanted to do. So I want them, if they want to, I will love it. But if they don't, I'll like that also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your son doing specifically?
So during COVID, the interest rates dropped really low. So our business got very crazy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to develop something called client service. And because you can only answer so many phone calls a day, right? Our loan officers or our salespeople or our processors can only get to so many people a day. But I think that when you call into a business and someone takes a message, it gives you a feeling in your stomach that's not always good. If you don't, you know, get an answer right away, maybe you're worried about something or they're going to call me back or not call me back. So I created this position to help teach him the business where he was going to answer every call. And if he didn't know the answer, at least he's talking to the person and they're actually getting a live person on the other end and say, you know what, let me go talk to Matt about that. Or let me go talk to Ryan in our office and let me find that out and I'll get right back to you. I just didn't want to have messages taken and get lost. I wanted the people to feel like we were there for them. That's what he started out. And throughout all the questions and asking and answering them, he learned the business.
That's amazing. Yeah, everyone refinanced in 2020.
Everyone,
I did. I was like,
it was crazy. Yeah. So, and so now he's taken on more, he does like our closing calls, but he's really our client service. It is something that wasn't, you know, necessarily in our industry, but I wanted to create it to always make sure that a phone got answered and that someone got their question answered.
How much are you shifting in the business, especially with the ups and downs of the economy, as you described? And like 1 minute it's great to refinance, other minutes it's really high interest rates. I sound really smart right now talking about that.
See? 30 minutes with me and you're already a mortgage expert.
But how much shifting for you does that involve? Obviously, knowing like the temperature of what's going on here in the Valley, what makes Arizona so diverse too with that in the housing market, like how much research are you constantly doing just to be well versed in this space?
Well, I feel like anything that you do, you always want to do research and read and stay on top of everything. But being in this industry for so long, you know that the market's always changing and you can't be afraid of the market. You have to learn to go with it. And one thing that I think I've really pushed during this time where the interest rates are rising and all this stuff is more education for the consumers. I've really learned to use social media and our radio and our ways to educate the consumer and take away that fear, right? What do you see on the news these days? What do you read on the news these days? Is everything so fearful, right? We're going to have a recession. We're not going to have a recession. Interest rates are high. Housing prices are high. Like all you hear is the negative.
So true.
So I wanted to really make it my focus this year on educating the consumer on why purchasing a home is still one of the best things you can do. You know, it's the number one way to gain wealth, you know, is buying a home. It really truly is. And so I really turned it to educate, right? Business is down in our industry for everyone, but you can't be afraid of that. And you have to always think ahead. It's going to turn around. The markets always do.
Does, yeah.
And what were you doing for your clients during that time? Were you sending them out things? Were you giving them videos? Were you answering their questions? Even if you can't do a loan right now, how are you educating them to make them feel better about the current situation?
So true. That's so good. Do you feel better, Nick, after hearing that? Do you feel educated?
I do.
enough?
And I was going to ask you, like, what are you doing to do that? And it appears as though you're on social media doing it.
Yes.
And then I realized that
Well, we just had this.
you look like you're already sitting in this space with some of these videos where the background is almost identical.
See, we have the same taste, right? Yes.
This modern
I
industrial
like it.
looking
Yes, I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
state 48 vibe. So yeah, you're doing
Which
social media.
Okay,
Follow given, by
I'm
the way.
43 years old, so I wasn't necessarily raised in the social media. You know, when I graduated high school, I didn't even have a cell phone yet. Like, and then when I got one, it didn't take pictures, or at least not that well, right?
Yeah.
And so that was a big fear of mine, is getting on social media, because I'm from the days like TV, you did it until you got it right. It was, you know, scripted, and I had to learn that being my authentic self and not worrying about if I made a mistake or
Yes.
if I didn't say things the right way, and really learning just to talk through the camera and get across my message from my heart and what I love to do, and really talk to the person on the other end and
In a
not to
real
the
way.
camera.
Yes, in a real way. I
So
can relate to that.
scary at
Yeah.
first, but
a lot of people are. Honestly, it's like, it's so easy to pick up a phone, obviously, flip your camera over and speak and talk and get on social media, on the airways, whatever. But a lot of people holding them back is that confidence, is that fear factor of worrying about what other people will say, right?
Yeah.
When your whole purpose of doing that is that connection of that reach that you can now build your community, your business. I always say open mouth, open business. It's not going to like
Yes.
just get out there by himself. So you doing that, you recognize, one, it's a tool for you. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable, but that's the only way you're going to be able to grow. I mean, you're in this world now where everything is on the internet. And if you can be fun and authentic at the same time, there's your reach. There's the people that will be captivated, trust you. You're earning trust. And then that will equal to more clientele, definitely.
and it gives you an opportunity. You know, I love being in a room with people and interacting with people, but it gives you a bigger opportunity to get in front of more people and really give them your message that way too. So I think for the first 6 months, I didn't watch any of my videos, because that's how I got over the fear a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to watch them because I don't want to critique myself. And then I started getting more comfortable with it. I started getting people that were reaching out like, thank you for saying this, or I never knew that, or great information. I was like, oh, okay.
It's such a tool.
I'm going to keep doing this.
Good
and then
for
it becomes
you.
fun to me.
Yeah, do something scary. Do something different.
Yes. And think outside the box, and don't be afraid. You know, I think I got to the point, it's like, I'm just going to try it. And if no one likes it, who cares?
The only people that will truly think you're cringy are your children. Let's be honest.
I already get that every day. Yeah.
And that hits a little deep, but you know what? If you can take it from them.
Yes.
My
They'll be
kids
doing
already.
the same thing one day, so it's totally fine.
Exactly. They're going to be
If they're
cringy
not
one day.
already cringier.
Yes.
They'll definitely be cringier.
I think yourself too. Like, you're your own worst critic,
yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
always harder on yourself than other people are on you.
Absolutely. I mean,
So-
I went to journalism school. I did all the TV internships, got the job, all the things, and I could not listen to myself for the longest time. But that was my own block in my head, like my ego, and thinking I have to be perfect, right?
Yes.
Or now I'm like, I literally can be on this, you know, in this setting, in this space, and just know it's a conversation, and no one wants me to be like news reportery right now. It's being genuine and real, and that's what captivates people. Not like, oh, she said this perfectly, or she knew about mortgages and all
Yeah,
that.
she just sat here and talked about all the boring stuff. Like I said before about mortgages. No,
It's not boring. Everyone needs to know, and I was gonna get to that, is the life lessons that are not taught in school, like
yes,
mortgages, like
Most of them.
understanding insurance policies,
Credit.
and credit. We wouldn't be in debt the way we are. Like, I finally, me and my husband did the Dave Ramsey, when was it? like 3 years ago, 4 years ago for the debt-free journey. And it was like, why don't we learn this in school? Like I'm here sitting at 26 in debt.
Yeah.
And now learning these practices, now learning these things. It's like so reverse.
And the same thing, you know, with student loan debt. You know, when you're going to college, they just approve you for loans, right? No one tells you like,
and
okay, you're earning interest during this time, or how long it's going to take you to pay it back, or, you know, what are you going into? What is your job career going to pay, and how are you? Yeah. So I think there's so many things that we don't teach in school that are very important in life. And I can definitely say, you know, bringing in employees, how much that they've learned, and then they're teaching others too, just about things that they didn't even know about. And credit is one of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you see a trend of more of the younger generation getting into your market or your
I hope
job?
so. I mean, that's my push. Again, the average age about 2 years ago in my industry was about 50. So yeah.
For a broker?
For a broker, and about 90% men.
No
and
offense to the 50-year-old men out here, but like we need
some young blood. And so
Lord,
that's, you know, what gave me a passion for it is not only being a woman, but being young and bringing in young people and young ideas.
Diversify.
Yeah. Diversify.
Definitely. Yeah. So do you have plans of, I'm sure you probably already thinking of some things, but like how to outreach at that point? Maybe it's doing your own mastermind for young females in the business or anything. Like, do you have passions to branch out in those areas?
Yes, I do. In fact, I've even told, you know, some of my employees, their kids are in high school. I would love to go speak at a high school, do a class, do something on that. Like teach them what credit is. When you have a credit card, you know, you don't want to max out to your balance and just only make your minimum payment. Just teach them how everything works. But I definitely have a big passion.
That's such a great idea.
And I'm in a women's group that I was the leader of originally in the mortgage industry. So we meet and we have an online group and a Facebook group, and we support each other. It's great.
That's great. Yeah, you need that. Wow.
So
many good things. Well, let us know here at State 48 how we can continue to support you. We love you. We love what you're doing, and that you're a friend here with us. And I'm so glad you could be on our show here today.
I'm so glad also. So nice to meet you, and I love your name.
Lisa Show. All right, everyone, make sure you subscribe and tune in next week. Thanks for joining us.